Okay. Go ahead, William.
Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I have come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning.
Okay. Okay, that's good. We will continue on last week. Okay. Okay. Maybe we stop right here. Let me see. Let me see. We stop at the Buddha said that to the people around him, King Ajatasatru have thou I should now fix my mind, right? Remember that?
Yeah. And
Right,
then we read the next paragraph too.
right, that's true. So you understand the fix and not fix, right?
I think so, but I'm not entirely clear. Um, isn't it? I mean, isn't it kind of like so? In order to preach to Ajatasatru, the Buddha has to kind of narrow the teaching a little bit for his circumstance of what he can understand.
Oh,
So I'm not entirely sure. No.
okay, let me let me turn on my webcam. Okay, so let me summarize the okay, so when before this is before that actually the king not yet see the Buddha yet, right? He on the way, but he not yet arrived. So the Buddha said that today he will make the Ajatasatru have a fixed mind. Okay, that's what it means. And the Bodhisattva said that, the world honor one, everything, all the phenomenon in this universe, nothing is fixed, right? Because they're impermanent. Therefore, nothing is fixed. How could you say that today you will make him to have a fixed mind? So that doesn't make sense. So the Buddha said, yeah, he agreed with the Bodhisattva. Yes, everything in this world is not fixed. Therefore, the bad people can be able to become the good one. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if everything is fixed, then that means nothing changes. Doesn't matter what we do, we cannot change it.
Mm-hmm.
So due to the not fixed, and that will comply with the law of cause and effect in Buddhism. So the law of cause and effect in Buddhism, right? We have three components. Remember, you know what are they, right?
Oh, cause, condition, and effect.
Yeah, cause, condition, and effect. And which one is the most important about?
The condition.
Right, that the condition is the most important about. So, therefore, that's why, due to nothing is fixed, the condition can change the effect. Not change the cause, but change the effect. The cause, we cannot do anything to change it. It's already done deal. But the condition will, cause plus condition will produce the effect. So the effect will be changed due to the condition. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, so far, so good, right? So, is that clear so far? And we will continue on, and you will see what the fixed and not fixed on the follow paragraph. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sweetie, I hear you.
Okay, go ahead and read this one.
Then the great king went to the forest of salt trees, went to where the Buddha was, looked up and saw the 32 signs of perfection and the 80 minor marks of excellence, all of which stood out like an all-wonderful golden mount. Then the Buddha issued the 8 kinds of voice and said, O great king. Then Ajatasatru looked to right and left and said, Who is the great king amongst all of those who are here? And we did read this part last time too.
Oh, you
Do you
do?
want me to still read?
Yeah, it's okay. Still read.
I am sinful and have no virtue worth mentioning. So the Tathagata could not be addressing me thus. Then the Tathagata again called out, O great king Ajatasatru. On hearing this, the king was greatly pleased and said, The Tathagata uses loving words to me. I now know that Tathagata truly has pity for all us beings. He makes no distinction. And he said to the Buddha, O world-honored one, I have now eternally made away with doubt. I definitely know now that the Tathagata is truly the unsurpassed great teacher. Then Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to all upholding, the Tathagata has gained a fixed mind for the sake of King Ajatasatru.
Does it make sense?
I think, like, the way I understand it is that the Buddha referring to him as O great king and being very specific when Ajatasatru tried to deny it, and, you know, O great king Ajatasatru is, you know, he's saying, so the Buddha says, I will gain a fixed mind. So in this case, I mean, what's fixed, I think, is that he's referring to him as a great king. He's not saying, oh, person who has the capability of being a great king, a bad king, or no king at all, right? Because he could leave and not be a king. He's saying, like, oh, great king Ajatasatru, like, this is what you are. You are a great king. And that seemed to be what Ajatasatru needed to hear in order to let go of his doubts and to trust the Buddha. And I mean, the Buddha is not being judgmental. The Buddha is acting in a way to help Ajatasatru, like doing what Ajatasatru needs to kind of relax and listen to the teaching of the Buddha. So I don't know, is that a good understanding of the fixed mind, that instead of like looking at the nuance of the situation and talking about like the possibility of what Ajatasatru could be, because based on his choice, he's just saying he's a great king?
No, actually, it's when the king arrived, right? And the Buddha called out the great king, but inside that assembly, the multitude, there are many great kings. So the Ajatasatru not sure that which great king that the Buddha is about to call, right? So he still have doubt because he think that he the one who create a very evil the sin. I don't think the Buddha will call to the great king refer to me. That's what he thinks. That's what he the doubt, right? He still have doubt. So therefore, the Buddha know that the king still have doubt. Therefore, he addressed directly to the king with the name. O great king Ajatasatru. So at the moment he hear the Buddha address him with the name, all the doubt is gone. And his mind is now have the fixed determination to the Buddha that the Buddha is a really truly unsurpassed teacher, great teacher, because he the one who have truly loving kindness, compassion without this discrimination. Does it make sense? Therefore, the Bodhisattva Kasyapa said to the all upholding Bodhisattva, the Tathagata have gained a fixed mind for the sake of the king Ajatasatru. What does that mean? It means that the king now have full faith into the Buddha. This is what we call the non-regression mind, right? The mind never withdraw from it, right? When you attend that mind will not go back. Doesn't matter what happened. This is the fixed mind that the King Ajatasatru gained. This is the tough, very tough to have this mind. Not easy.
So the fixed mind that the Tathagata is gaining is Ajatasatru's mind, not the Buddha's not saying I'm going to fix my own mind for the sake of Ajatasatru. I'm going to gain a fixed mind. I'm going to help Ajatasatru gain a fixed mind.
Right. I think it's
okay.
Okay. I think this translation is a little bit confused right here. The Buddha said that. Okay. The King Ajatasatru yet have doubt, right? I should now fix my mind. No, not my mind. I mean the king mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's that's a little bit confused right there for the general.
Okay.
So now you understand, right?
Yes. Yes, Tay.
Because this is very important to us. Because this is relevant to us. The whole practice of the Bodhisattva path is to gain this fixed mind. If we be able to gain the fixed mind of the unsurpassed body mind, right? That means we know the direction how to get there. We have the clear picture. We will get there in one way or the other. It just depends on when we get there. That's all. Just the time. But when we have that fixed mind, nothing can distract us from it. Nothing can make us withdraw from it. Nothing can make us progress from it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
When we have the fixed mind, that means from now on, whatever we do, practice on the Bodhisattva path, we always go forward. Do that fixed mind. And whatever we do very sincerely. We serve our living being with the whole heart of the Bodhisattva path, of the Bodhisattva mind, the Bodhicitta mind. This is the most, this right here, this is the most important teaching in this entire sutra. One of the most important teachings. Even the evil, the king did evil, right? But he still gained the fixed mind. So that means give us hope that we can be able to do the same thing just like the king did.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, in order for us, okay, let me open this thing. I just want to refresh our learning. Yeah, so I think I saw you this many couple of times, not many times. Okay. You still remember this, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't remember all of it, but I remember like the big picture.
Okay. The fourth stage of Arahat, right? That means the first one is called the stream enter. There are 10 different feathers, right? Feather, that means the one that we tie the knot. And that causes us a lot of affliction, suffering, due to this feather. Right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the feather, right? The first one is self-illusion. The self-illusion, that means it's we attach to the 5 aggregate, right? At the cell. You remember that? Doubt is very tough to remove. It's not easy to have the no doubt to the Buddha teaching. Not easy. The only time when we have no doubt to whatever the Buddha teaching is when we understand clearly the core teaching of the Buddha. That is important. Not the teaching of small teaching from different sutra. No, the core teaching of the Buddha. Then that means whenever we hear something from different teacher, we can be able to contemplate. Once you have the right view, therefore you will have the right contemplation. The right view and the right contemplation will make us have wisdom. Therefore, the doubt will be removed from it. This is important. Not easy to remove the doubt. The third one is the wrong view on the right or ceremony. For example, they in the right now I don't know right now they sacrifice the animal for the well-being, right? Oh, Hindu, they always do that. When the Buddha is still alive, right? They do this a lot. Even the king bin Sara, that means the father of the Ajatasatru, right? Before he met before the Buddha became Buddha, right? He became left home. He just left home and become the monk practice, right? But he the one who he go to nearby the kingdom of this king and for the ambo, and the king saw this person here, that means the prince, and he was impressed by this appearance, and therefore he have and you know what, and during that time at that time I think the king, he will listen to the Ramin to perform the ceremony, sacrifice animal to pray for the well-being of I think of his mother or whatever. And that means the Prince Siddhartha saw that and try to stop him. Okay, let me show you to read it. I think I just saw the kid today. It's very short read, but it's very good one. I think it's worth it to okay, let me see which one with that. Okay, not here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, go ahead and oh, what happened? Okay, William, go ahead and read this one. It's very short, but it's very interesting.
The logic behind sacrifice of animals. Indian social system suggested numerous sacrifices for the attainment of merit. There were numerous movements opposing this since even in modern times. This practice has not been completely wiped out even today. Even in those dark times, there were enlightened voices opposing this practice. Once Buddha entered the spot where 50 cows were being sacrificed by King Bimbisara for merit. He immediately opposed this move. The high priest who was mediating this ceremony was aghast at his opposition. The king asked the two learned men to debate the issue.
You know who are the two learned men?
So one would be the Buddha, and the other would be the priest who was doing the ceremony.
Yep. Okay.
The priest gave examples from Indian texts about the sacrifices and how this was an ancient practice for attaining merit. Buddha put many arguments too, but finally the priest said the sacrifice would bring benefits to 3 people and loss to none. When the Buddha asked how so, he said, the king, the mediating Brahmin, and all these goats. The king and the Brahmin gain merit while the goats gain heaven. The Buddha said, do the goats gain heaven? The priest said, of course. Again, the Buddha asked, are you sure? The priest replied, it's absolutely sure that they gain heaven. The Buddha reported, do you wish your old father to gain heaven after his death? The priest replied, definitely, you fool. Buddha said finally, then why not sacrifice your own father? The priest was red with anger, but King Bimbisara understood the futility of this exercise and stopped the procedure of sacrifice.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good example. Using it seems like the Buddha would do this regularly, using someone's own logic and showing where the logic was just incomplete, not fully integrated, and then their system kind of falls apart.
Okay, if you believe that goat gain heaven, why not sacrifice your father so your father can get heaven too?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is terrible, right? So anyway, go back to our learning. Okay, so basically here the Tao is very okay. The wrong view on the retreat and ceremony, right? That is also right now nowadays a lot of people Hindu, right? They have a lot gathering every year to the bath in the Gang River. They call the Gang River the holy water. So hopefully they believe that the holy water can wash away their bad sin, right? Do you think that works?
No, I don't think so.
So how do you explain to them that this doesn't work? How do you convince them?
Oh, um, well,
What kind of logic can we convince them?
yeah, it's just it's kind of a crazy place to start from. How could a river wash away your sins? So it's like, well, you could maybe look at the mechanism of it, like if if the river is washing away these sins, the physical water, well, where are these sins? Like what is being washed away? If we can't point to them, and if they're not physical, how could water wash them away? Water can wash away dirt. It can help us relax if it's like warm, or if we're hot and it cools us down. It can help us calm our mind down, but it can't change the fact of what we've done. It can't if we stole money from somebody, it doesn't give that person their money back. So how could it complete karma? How could it take that away? I would be interested to hear how they think it's washing it away first, because it's kind of hard to explain to someone why it's not without knowing how they got there.
Actually, this is at the Buddha time he already using the example of the clothes, right? The prophet when it says stand, you can use the water to remove the stand, right? It's okay, but not the mind, right? So let me go back here. I saw the kid today that the Gang River is the most polluted river in the world. And you know what? Every day they have 300 cremation. And
only 300?
No. I think they only, well, that means those 300 cremation they put into the river. I think more than that.
Yeah, I'm surprised if it's only because it's such a huge city. Aren't there are multiple cities
right.
that lay on it?
And also all the waste in the city, you imagine that million, even 100 million people, right?
Yeah.
all the waste in the city, they drain it into the river.
Yeah.
And you know what? The tourists, the Western tourists, they go there and they dare not to touch the water.
Yeah.
Because all the rubbish and all the trash in the water. And even the marine life, like the fish, they die due to the poison of the waste.
Mm-hmm.
If the holy water, how could they don't save the holy life? If that holy, how come that water cannot be able to save the marine life? So that is not holy, right? And secondly, I told the kid that in Buddhism, the karma we talk, it means action. We have 3 types of action: the mind, the mouth, and the body. When the mouth says something good or bad, do you think the mouth know this is good or bad? No, the mouth do not know. But which one know? The mind. What about our body? When our body do good or bad, the body do not know, but the mind know. Is that the same thing with the water? The water do not know this is good or bad, because the water is not the mind. Then how could the water be able to remove the sin that we have?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the logic I give to the kid. I hope that logic works.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So the kid said, "Yeah, that's true."
Mm-hmm.
So the wrong view is the most evil, because those things can put us into the evil realm easily. When we have the wrong view, whatever we do, we pray bad karma. Right? So let's go back here. That you understand so far, right? That?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So the stream enter be able to eradicate the first 3 feather, right? That's how they attain the first state. And actually, this one is not too tough. If we understand the Buddhist teaching clearly, automatically the down will be moved. And those also imply this one is also removed. And the self-illusion automatically removed once you have the right view and the right contemplation. So the whole idea is, in order to attain this one, we understand the Buddha teaching in the right view. That's all. And in order to understand the Buddha teaching, we need to understand the core teaching of the Buddha. So what are William, what do you think? What is the core teaching of the Buddha?
Well, there are the 4 Dharma seals. I would say that's pretty core. There are the 4 Noble Truths. I would say that's pretty core as well. Also, bodhicitta, so compassion, being the source of the source of the teachings, really being the heart of the teachings. So the centralness of compassion.
Mm-hmm.
We could include the 12 linked conditions.
Mm-hmm.
We could include when we include the Mahayana with the Buddha nature, which was kind of deduced from the Buddha's teachings. Karma, reincarnation. The potential to be a Buddha, the Buddha nature.
And the 6 paramita practice.
The 6 paramitas.
Oh, can you you recall the 4 Dhamma seals?
I think so. So there is impermanence, emptiness, suffering, and no self. So maybe not in that order. So it's like everything is impermanent. Because it's impermanent, it's empty. Because it's empty, there's no self. And if we don't recognize these things, then there's suffering.
Okay. So that's important. If nothing it go out of that teaching, right? They are evolved in that teaching. So one, we have the right view. So whenever we hear something from someone, we can contemplate to make sure it's compliant with the Buddha teaching. So one, we, and also in the Pariya Nirvana, the sutra we are learning right now, the four seals you just said, actually it the first one is the impurity, right? Because the body, we contemplate at the impurity. And the feeling, it's suffering. We attach to the feeling. Any kind of feeling is suffering. And the mind is the impermanent. And all the phenomenon, it has no self. Does that make sense, right?
Yes, Jay.
Okay. So, but in the Paranirvana Sutra, right? In the Pariya Nirvana Sutra, that the Buddha say that, okay, the fourth Dhamma seal I give you in the Theravada teaching, it's no longer valid. Impermanent now become permanent. Why? Because the Dhamma body is impermanent. It's permanent. And the Dhamma body is the one that embody all the universal law in the universe. That is represent for the Dhamma body, which is permanent. That will counter the impermanent teaching in the Theravada. Does it make sense? Right?
Yes, Jay.
The second one is because the Dhamma body is permanent. Therefore, the Dhamma body is the true self. But this self here, it doesn't mean that it's an entity. That self is the whole universe, universal law. That's why the Dhamma body is everywhere in the whole space of the universe. Whatever we hear, we see is the Dhamma, is the Buddha teaching, but we do not realize. Does that make sense? So, therefore, the true self counter the no self of the Theravada teaching. Therefore, we have two choice. Which counter the suffering of the Theravada teaching. Therefore, the Dhamma body is so pure, which counter the impurity of the Theravada teaching. This is the true four Dhamma seal of the Mahayana teaching. But we still be benefits to practice using the four Dhamma seal of the Theravada, we also benefit from it. So nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that Buddha reject whatever he teach. No. The reason why, do you know why at the beginning, at the time that when after he enlightened, he started teaching the Theravada Sutra first, and he using that four Dhamma seal. You know why? What is
Yeah,
the purpose of
because
using that four Dhamma seal?
what is the what?
What is the whole purpose of using the four Dhamma seal of the Theravada teaching?
Well, I would think part of it at least would be to distinguish the teachings from other teachings. That would be one, to make a really clear distinction. But also to lessen attachments to desire. Yeah, I think those would be the two big ones.
You are right. So the first one is basically the Buddha want to, because the other religion, they always talking about the self, permanent, joy, and purity, right? But they don't know what they are talking about, right? When they're talking about the self, what does that mean? For example, the most of religion, they believe God as the creator who create all things. For example, in Hindu, right, they believe the Brahma, right, is the God, the creator. And every one of us at the small self, the whole practice of them is to merge, to unite the small self into the greater self. That's what the self means. But doesn't mean, it doesn't matter. Little self or greater self is still self. That's what we call the self-centric. As long as we have any attachment to the self, there is suffering. You see that. Therefore, they are the one who create the caste system. That's caused a lot of suffering to other people. They have 5 different castes, right? The first one is the Brahmin. That means the one who think that they are the one who have the whole power to communication with God, the creator. They give themselves the power. The second one is the warrior or the royal. And the third one is the merchant, and the fourth one is the slave. And the fifth one is the outcast. That means the one who do the strict whipping, or the one who carry the human waste, to clean up the human waste. Because during that time we don't have the sanitary system, right? And the whole idea, they pray the caste system is to control people. That's what the cell also mean to them. So, and they believe that the God as the creator is the permanent. The Buddha said that all phenomena in this universe, there is no such thing is called permanent. It's impermanent. And therefore, there is no such thing. Therefore, there is no true self, right? To anything, even ourselves, even our body. The physical body comes from the 4 elements. So which part of the body is really us? Nothing. Even the whole body is not us, because the name is given by our parents. Because we are lacking of understanding or not even aware of the impermanent, therefore we attach. When we attach, whatever happened to the body, when we get sick or when we get old, when we die, we suffer so much due to attachment. Due to ignorance. Therefore, we attach. The feeling is come and go. Which one is our feeling? The more we attach to the feeling, the more suffering we have. Just for example, the one who are depressed, right? Because they are the one who always attach to the feeling at their own real. The more they attach, the more they depress. Once we understand the nature of the feeling is impermanent, and therefore we easily accept it and let go. Yes, even though we have the happy feeling, but those happy feeling, it don't last long. It's go. The suffering feeling, if we attach, we will suffer more. Therefore, we should understand the impermanence of that, and we let go. Neither the happy, no suffering. This is the feeling in between. That means neither happy, no suffering. It is a good one to attach.
To the neutral feeling?
Yeah, neutral. Do you think it's a good?
No, I mean, attaching to anything will be problematic.
But why the neutral is problematic?
Well, because then we would resist happiness or suffering. And if we were resisting it, we were averse to it, then we would suffer whenever we were, getting something we wanted or getting something we didn't want, because we would be resisting the natural, emotion that would arise in response to that.
This neutral of us is not the same thing with the one who attend enlightenment. The reason is we in this state, usually who in this state, the one who's depressed. They have no motivation to do anything. Lack of motivation, therefore they depressed. Stuck in this state of the mind, it's not a good idea. So we should get out of it. Right? Anyway, so the thinking, the perception, that means come and go. So which one is our thinking? So the people who are so arrogant, they attach to the thinking, this is my invention. They're so proud of it. So this is my idea. Therefore, a lot of conflict, fighting going on in this world. Attached to their own view, right? You see the politicians, they fight each other due to the conflict view. Mm-hmm. This is crazy. The mental formation, you understand this one, right? It's not easy to understand. But I explained you a couple of times. You understand mental formation?
Yeah. The way Tikang Dots has explained it too is like habits are one expression of mental formations, that we have sort of these they're like arising in the mind without looking for them, like whatever we practice regularly. Like he would use the example of someone smoking a cigarette, where they're going to have this, a thought about it, a feeling about it, and then a conclusion to do it. And the more they do it, the stronger that pathway is, and the more likely it's going to, keep showing itself.
Okay, let me show you. I plan to this in detail. So because this is very important. When we understand, in the 5 aggregate, right? The form, the feeling, the perception, mental formation, and the consciousness. the mental formation in the 5 aggregate, it is same thing with the 12 link. The 12 link, that means the second link. The second link in here, that's called mental formation. They are the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in general, mental formation is the one that very common. Okay, let me show you here. Okay. All the seeds in here, in the alaya consciousness, this is the storehouse consciousness, right? We have good seed and bad seed. That means we have greed, hatred, ignorant seed, as well as loving kindness, and compassion, empathy, and so on and so on. All these things is here. In here, we cannot see. This is the subconsciousness that we cannot see. But once someone says something, accuse us something, right? It will, that means our ear hear that voice of accusing. That means our ear contact that voice, right? Our eye see that person, our eye contact that person. And our mind, right? Our mind will pay attention to it. When our mind pay attention to it, what does that mean? Okay, let me go. Our mind, right? Pay attention to it, to the voice and to the physical person of that. And the feeling, that means the mana consciousness. This is the emotional affliction. Any information we take from outside or from the alaya consciousness carry with emotional or feeling, this will trigger this one. Right? So if someone accuses us, right, and therefore when we pay attention to it, therefore the feeling of the anger will arrive quickly in this mana consciousness. Because this mana consciousness is the one who attached to all the seed inside the alaya consciousness, because we already have those seed in here. But when nothing happened, this seed become okay. Nothing happened. But once something happened outside, that is the condition it will trigger to bring this seed out of the alaya consciousness. And it will move to here, and it will create the emotional, right? And it control the mind. And when it control the mind, we will see the anger in here. And this anger appear in here. This is called the mental formation. Mental, because the mind, right? Mental formation. And from the anger in the mind, right? Then you will see the physical formation. Where is the physical formation of the anger? That means we can feel the heat in our face. We can feel the body is shaking. We can see that our hand is holding the fist. This is the sign of the physical formation. From the mental, we will see the physical. The mental have to go first before the physical appear. Does it make sense so far?
So perception is how we are viewing what happens, right? So if someone spills some milk, we see the milk being spilled, and that's the contact portion, that's the sense portion. But the story we tell about why the milk was spilled would be perception. And then like how we habitually react to it would be mental formation, like what we do about it.
No.
Mental formation.
No. Well, let's talk about the milk spill, right? How do we know the milk spill? Because we already have all the knowledge related to that milk spill. We learn about this is milk, right? And when it fall, it means it's spilled. That means we do have the knowledge in here. So now, in order to bring the knowledge from here up to here, so we can be able to see things clear. One, all the information here go to here. This is the mental formation. That's what the monkey mind about.
So how does it how do we distinguish perception from mental formation?
Actually, they are very similar because, for example, Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs, he's the one very famous, that the one who invent the iPhone, iPad, or right. Well, that means inside his Alaya consciousness, he is very rich in the technology and design. All the knowledge, experience he has is in here. So because he went to in 2003, he was invited by the Microsoft to Microsoft demo him the tablet. And you know what? In that meeting, the Microsoft insulted him that if you want to have a real invention, this is the real invention. After that, when he got back to his company, he remembered those insults, right? And he, from there, he have the determination mind that he going to invent something better than the Microsoft. So what does that mean? He used all the knowledge he have in here, and he will bring those information out here and go to the mind, become the visualization to create the prototype and the device, iPhone or whatever, inside the mind first. This is the mental formation of the iPhone. Once he have the very good design in the mind, then he will turn the mind design into the electronic joint. This is the electronic formation. Does it make sense? He
Yes.
have the iPhone of the electronic copy, and he bring that electronic copy to the engineering team to review and to see that where they can be able to refine and to make it better until they okay with it. Then they will go. They will. That means from the electronic from the mental formation to the electronic formation, it will produce the physical formation. This is the mass production of the iPhone. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
This is very important teaching. Because once we understand the mind, all the karma we pray come from the mind, not from the mouth or from the body. When the body speaks evil or compassion, when the mouth speaks evil or compassion, the mouth do not know this is good speech or evil speech, but the mind knows. When the body acts loving kindness or evil, the body do not know this is the good or bad action, but the mind know. Because the formation from the mind, that mental formation, is the one trigger the physical formation. Tiffany, you understand so far, Tiffany? Okay. Okay. So is that clear? Yeah. So the mental formation is important. But why we have the mental formation in this here, in the the mental formation? If we are ignorant, we will have the foolish mental formation. We pray a lot of bad karma. But and later on we learn into the peri-nirvana. The Buddha said that he gave there are 4 types of the people in this world. 4 foolish type of people. Foolish from craving, foolish from when they took the medicine, make them to become crazy and foolish. Or the third one is foolish from the mantra or the spell. The fourth one is the one that we've been foolish and crazy due to our past life karma. And the Buddha said that when we are foolish and we pray all the bad deeds, just like the one who are drunk, right? And when they are drunk, whatever they do, we call it bad. But when he wake up from it and feel removed from it and willing to do good, and the Buddha said that those people, when we wake up from the foolish, that means we have wisdom instead of ignorance. Then all the bad deeds we pray during the time we ignorant, Buddha said that it's not, he don't call those people pray bad sin. And we will learn about this detail in the great detail. And this is very good teaching that once you understand this concept, then you clearly understand even the most evil person in the world. If they have a chance to learn the Dharma, they can be able to come back even better and greater. So never underestimate of the one is bad right now. Don't look down on them. You never know, when they come back, they even better than us. So they are the one who cause us a lot of trouble, but we should receive them because they are the one who teach us a lot of things that we can learn from, like patience, love and kindness, and compassion. So when the difference between ignorant and wise is depend on, if we ignorant, the mental formation will become bad. Okay, yeah. So, but when we have wisdom, we no longer do those things again. And you know what? In here, I will quickly give you all this thing here, all this thing here, all this thing here. It represents the stream of consciousness. And in the stream of consciousness, which one will say that you definitely go to hell, definitely go to hungry ghost, definitely go to the animal realm, definitely you go to here and there. No such thing is called fixed. Because the stream of consciousness, it keeps flowing and keeps changing all the time. When we wake up from our foolish ignorance, we can change the stream of consciousness in the greater better. And all the things we prayed in the past, the effects of the bad deed no longer valid. Does it make sense? Just like the bad cause plus the good condition give you the better effect. Okay, we will stop right here. I'm a little bit past. Okay, let me stop right here. Tiffany, you understand so far, right? Hopefully.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, William.
May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, thank you, everyone. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Tay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, thầy.